Hello students, welcome back. Now we are going to discuss about regarding ECL inverter. Okay, ECL inverter. So already we discussed about regarding ECL logic family, right? So in previous class we discussed regarding ECL logic family, right? Now we discuss one of the example for ECL logic family, that is ECL inverter. So here the basic ECL inverter is also termed as ECL buffer. Okay, the basic ECL inverter is also termed as ECL buffer, right? So it can work both ECL inverter as well as ECL buffer, right? So now if you see this circuit, okay, this one is the circuit for ECL buffer or ECL inverter. So this circuit is constructed by two NPN transistors. Okay, here it is having Q1 and Q2. So in this figure, Q1 and Q2 transistors are both are NPN transistors. Okay, and these are connected in differential single-headed input mode. Okay, differential single-headed input mode. Okay, so here it is having only one input, right? So it is having Q1 and Q2, right? So these Q1 and Q2 are connected in differential single-ended input, and these two transistors are of NPN transistors. Fine. And next, here it is connected a common emitter resistance. Okay, a common emitter resistance, that is RE. Okay, next, it consists of two output voltages. Okay, it consists of two output, that is Vout1 and Vout2. Okay, now we'll see the circuit operation, right ma? So before going to this circuit operation, first of all, here the output voltages, right? Here the outputs are Vout1 is the inverting output, Vout2 is the non-inverting output. Okay, so because this circuit is connected in the form of differential single-ended input mode. Okay, so here the Vout1 is called as the inverting output and Vout2 is called as the non-inverting output. And one more thing, so in this circuit the transistors, okay, the transistors Q1 and Q2, whenever one transistor is on, another transistor will be off. Okay, whenever any transistor is off, another transistor is on. Okay, vice versa. Okay, whenever any transistor is on, another transistor will be off. Whenever any transistor is off, another transistor will be on. Okay, remember that point. Okay, next, so here we are going to apply the input voltages. Okay, we are going to apply the input voltage to the Vin. Okay, to the first transistor Q1. Okay, so now you take the first condition. Okay, you take the first condition, that is high voltage. Okay, whenever we apply the high voltage, that is of 4.4 volts. Okay, 4.4 volts we are applying to the Q1 transistor here. Fine. And next one, so whenever we apply this 4.4 volts, what will happen here? The transistor Q1 starts conduction. Okay, the transistor Q1 starts conduction and it will be on. Okay, transistor Q1 is on. At the same time, the transistor Q2 does not conduct, it remains off. Okay, the transistor is off now. So whenever the Q1 is on, Q2 is off here. So therefore the non-inverting output Vout2 is pulled to supply voltage, that is of 5.0 volts, because here the transistor Q2 is off, right? Q1 is on here, Q1 is on and Q2 is off. So because of this Q2 is off, right? So the non-inverting output voltage Vout2 is 5.0 volts. But whereas this Vout1, okay, Vout1 is 4.2 volts. Okay, why? Because the voltage drop across R1 is 0.8 volts here, right? So because of this voltage drop across R1 is 0.8 volts, the voltage the V output 1 is 4.2 volts. Fine. So whenever we apply the high voltage, that is of 4.4 volts, so what will happen here? So if you see this condition, if you apply for a high voltage, right, if you apply the high voltage, that is of 4.4 volts, the Vout1 is 4.2 volts, right, and Vout2 is 5.0 volts. So you can observe in this table. Fine. And next, coming to the second case. Okay, second case is whenever the input is low. Okay, whenever the input is low, that is of 3.6 volts. Okay, 3.6 volts. Now what will happen? So Q1 is off. Fine, Q1 is off and Q2 will turns on. Okay, Q1 is off and Q2 is on. So in this case, right, the inverting output, okay, the inverting output is pulled to 5.0 volts, that is the supply voltage, right, 5.0 volts through resistor R1. Okay, through resistor R1, Vout1 becomes 5.0 volts because the Q1 is off here. Now coming to this Q2. Okay, Q2. So here the voltage drop across R2 is 0.8 volts. Okay, so the Vout2 becomes 4.2 volts here. Okay, Vout2 becomes 4.2 volts. Vout2 means here non-inverting output. Okay, non-inverting output, right? So Vout2 becomes as a 4.2 volts, right? So you can observe in this table. So whenever we apply the low input, that is of 3.6 volts, Vout1 becomes as 5 volts and Vout2 becomes as 4.2 volts. Okay, so that is of output voltages. So here the Vout1 is a inverting output and Vout2 is the non-inverting output. Fine. So next one. So you can observe in this table also, right, whenever we apply high input, okay, whenever we apply high input, right, that is of 4.4 volts, Q1 is on, right, Q2 is off. Already I told you, whenever any transistor is on, another transistor will be off, right, whenever any transistor is off, another transistor will be on, right. So therefore the Vout1 becomes low voltage, right, and Vout2 becomes high voltage here. And next, whenever we apply low voltage here to the input, Q1 is off and Q2 is on. Okay, therefore the output Vout1 is high, Vout2 is low, right. So like that the ECL inverter circuit performs. Okay, so whenever any transistor is on, another transistor will be off, another transistor, if any transistor is off, another transistor will be on. So like that you can get the output voltages here. Okay, hence the name is ECL inverter, or it is also called as ECL buffer. Okay, so that is regarding ECL inverter here. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.